Well, that is it. One day away till the Eagles play their home opener on Thursday night on a short week. And we have a lot to go over regarding the Philadelphia Eagles injuries, the Vikings injuries that they have a few as is already, which could lead to their struggles in Thursday night game, and talk about this game in general. But it is a short week, and you garner injuries on Sunday, and because it's a short week, and if it was a normal week, we'd probably get a lot of these guys back. But there are a few more names that are going to be not playing in this game, and I think it's really important, and obviously the Eagles need to upgrade themselves from what they did on Sunday night, because I don't think they could have played any worse than they did Sunday offensively, and obviously defense, played better, really saved the game. But a lot to go over here, so let's get into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. I hope everyone's enjoying their work weekend. Yes, tomorrow is the home opener for the Philadelphia Eagles. And for the first thing, I just want to talk about Jake Elliott. Ended up getting NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, which it was well-deserved for field goals, which is great. I think we broke a record. I think the Eagles have never kicked, or made two over 50-yard field goals in the second half of a game or something like that. So I think he broke the record for that, but it was definitely the defense gets a lot of credit for last Sunday for our first game. And, Jake Elliott, this is the reason why special teams is so important, and having a good kicker there really makes a huge difference. So good thing for Jake Elliott to get on the special teams of the week for the NFC, which is pretty good. Now, going into the Eagles injury report, we already know that James Bradberry is not playing, which we're going to be looking at. Josh Jobe will be the starting, second corner, outside corner, and, most likely he'll take Bradberry's spot, and then they'll probably bring up Eli Ricks to the active roster as well. See how much Josh Jobe is going to struggle, but we'll talk about the defense later when it comes to Sean Desai and how he has to use these guys, which I've been probably saying for the millionth time this week in every damn video that I've been making so far. So, looks like Reed Blankenship is not going to be playing in this game, guys. So it looks like Sidney Brown is going to get his shot to play safety here. And, maybe this is a blessing in disguise to see what Sidney Brown could do. As he always said, he wants to make players fear him going through the middle. And, I'm not a big fan of Justin Evans. I think he gets turned around too late. I just think his coverage isn't good, and I think he gets sucked up with the blocking schemes. And if they're running slants or a shallow cross or something like that, I feel like he's not great at going through traffic to make tackles. I don't know. I'm just not a big Justin Evans fan in this defense, and really want Sidney Brown to get his shot. Sidney Brown is forcefully going to get his shot right now because Reed Blankenship is not playing. So interesting enough to see what he could do. And, it's, safety is, a huge weakness going to this game so far. We don't know what Sidney Brown's going to do as in a full entire game, but we'll see. And hopefully we see something really good. Hopefully we have a good enough pass rush. Hopefully, we'll see a lot more from these safeties going forward, but that's going to be the big switcheroony. So safety position is totally new going into the second game of the season on a short week. Like I said, Reed would have been fine if he has a rib injury. Reed would have been fine if we had a normal schedule for football, not a short week. If we had a game on Sunday, Monday, he would most likely be playing. But because of this is what happened. So glad that Sidney Brown is playing. I hope this doesn't turn out to be a huge weakness in this game, and it really shouldn't be. I feel like, Sidney Brown might actually play a lot better than Justin Evans. We know that he will be the starter sooner or later. We're just waiting for him to get his right moment to make some plays and be like, and the coaching staff, I think the coaching staff already knows he's playing at a high level, but I think he needs that extra push. I think being a starter in this game is really going to help him out tremendously going forward. Kenneth Gainwell will not be playing in this game. So he's been dealing with a rib injury, and he is officially out for this game. And I'm just going to say this right now, okay? Whatever snap count that they were doing, I don't know what they were doing in that first game, whether it was due to weather or was due to so much other stuff. The snap count was inexcusable for the running backs, and the usage on top of Rashad Penny being a healthy scratch last week, which was just made no sense to me with If it's a bad weather game, I'd figured that you'd use all 4 of your running backs. Boston Scott barely had 3 carries. DeAndre Swift has to be the focal point in this game. He had 1 rushing attempt last week, and I think 1 pass thrown to him, okay? He has got to be the focal point of this offense. We got to see more Swift in this game. And like I said, when we played the Patriots, they made it way too obvious. Every time Gainwell was in the backfield, it was a run. Every time Swift was on the field, it was a pass. I don't know why they played so... This coaching staff is not stupid. Like, they played so generic, and they just played as it was like they didn't want to show their playbook, or I don't know. Maybe they thought they could beat the Patriots with a generic playbook with generic plays. I can't understand how Brian Johnson, that was around Shane Steichen all year last year, put the running backs in this position, like not giving Jalen Hurts enough help. Jalen Hurts got hit a lot in this game this past Sunday. I thought he got hit a good amount of times, like a lot of QB. I mean, this is why you have all these running backs. Take pressure off Jalen Hurts, not for him to get hit that many times in one game. And I understand maybe it wasn't a lot of times, but I got to say he got hit a good amount of times, and he had a fumble on top of it. So with Gainwell not in the lineup now, we're going to see what they do here. Obviously, Rashad Penny better be playing this week, and he should be, but DeAndre Swift is definitely going to get some snaps. He should have the bulk of the snaps, and Boston Scott will definitely get some snaps as well. See how creative they get with these running backs in the passing game and in the run game, and they better use these guys a lot. I understand this is a pass-first team, but they got to run the ball. What they did on Sunday was inexcusable, and it was just the defensive line for opposite teams that treat, the Eagles treat the running backs like this. It's going to get the jump for these defensive lines to come at us because, like I said, with certain personnel in there, they're using them in certain ways, and they're making it way too obvious, and it gets the jump, and they have a head start on our offense because we're making things way too, like I said, way too obvious. So, I'm excited to get more Swift, and Gainwell will be back. Like I said, if it was a normal week, Gainwell would be back if it was a Sunday, Monday game, but it's a Thursday, and it cuts out a little bit of, what we're doing. So obviously going after this game against the Vikings, we should have a lot of guys back, and we really should have a full roster by the time we get back besides Nakobe Dean, which obviously getting to our other injuries as well, Fletcher Cox will be questionable for this game with the ribs. I think it's really a pain tolerance at this point, what's going on with him. So we already kind of know that. So hopefully he does come back. Fletcher Cox played fantastic in the last game, and the more to our defensive line, the better it is, going forward. Obviously, we talked about James Bradbury earlier in the week, and, Eli Ricks. We'll have Josh Jobe at the starting second corner, outside corner. So those are your injuries. So I didn't really expect Gainwell not to play. I didn't expect the Reed Blankenship to be out all of a sudden. A lot of rib injuries for this team. I don't know if it was friendly fire or just making tackles getting hit in the rib cage too much. But so Eagles have about 4 players that are going to be out. 5 players really with Nakobe Dean. 5 players going to be out as of right now. Since Nakobe Dean was put on the IR, he'll be out the next 4 weeks most likely. So that is your injury report for the Philadelphia Eagles going forward into Thursday night. Now going into obviously the Vikings, it looks like their center, Garrett Bradbury, will be out. He got hurt last game against the Buccaneers. They replaced him with a center that has only had 12 starts in the NFL. They have their left tackle, Christian Darrisaw, that has an ankle injury. He's questionable, so he's not going to be 100% healthy by tomorrow. And outside linebacker Marcus Davenport has an ankle too. So they could have another week, guys, with a couple players on the offensive line that's hurt right now. And really it comes down to Sean Desai and this defense and how they're going to be using these players, because one of the beat writers did ask Sean Desai the other day, did you watch film on the Vikings last year? And, what is he going to say? No, but he said he did. And honestly, using big play Slay is probably the #1 thing. I've said this in a million videos this week. I feel like I'm just a tape playing over and over again, because it's not like just Jefferson's the only weapon now. They have a nice trio of weapons with Jefferson and Addison as their #2, which Addison's a very good player. And then, obviously having TJ Hawkinson that just got paid a lot of money a few weeks ago. And, he's a really good tight end. Now, I don't think you have to, worry about getting in front of a pair of tight ends this week, which I think they struggled totally last week. on Gesicki and on Hunter as well. I thought they did horrible. Nakobe didn't have his best game either. But big play Slay has got to shadow Justin Jefferson the whole entire game, because if he doesn't, we're done. If he doesn't shadow, he's finished. And I think that's what the Eagles did last year. I think they strayed away from Darius Slay. They strayed away from him being on a number one receiver and shadowing later in the year, and keeping him on one side of the field, I think, is a big mistake. I'm telling you right now, do not put Josh Jobe, do not put Eli Ricks or whoever's. I think it's most likely going to be Josh Jobe, but I don't know if the Eagles are going to be like on a testing type thing with Josh Jobe. Like if he starts to struggle a lot, they might switch cornerbacks with Eli Ricks. I don't know, but we'll see. But do not put us in a position where you're going to put Josh Jobe or an undrafted free agent on Eli Ricks on Jordan Addison, okay? I mean on Justin Jefferson, okay? Don't get into that, because last year was very successful, but last year is last year, okay? But looking at tape and what Slay could do is a fantastic thing. And with the offensive line, the way the Vikings look right now, we didn't do bad as a pass rush. We just had our corners so off the ball. Our defense is so off the ball with this secondary. From 5 to 7 yards, these guys are wide open. So Mac Jones got the ball out so damn quick. Now, is Kirk Cousins the strong point of their offense? 100% not. Number one, it's a primetime game. He never does well in primetime games. Number two, he costed them their last game. He had a fight with the assistant coach on the sideline against the Buccaneers after he threw that pick in the end zone. But he's not the most athletic guy. Kirk Cousins, they got to get in his face. They got to swallow him up. And we had 2 guards out on Sunday versus the Patriots. 2 guards were out. We got a pass rush. The problem with the defensive line, there's no issue with the defensive line for the Eagles. The problem I'm having is you're giving way too much cushion with the secondary. And you thought you faced really barely any good receivers last week. You faced some really good ones. This is definitely a step up from last week, what we faced wide receiver wise with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson. Okay, got some good ones here. So they have got to get pressure, and I'm not even worried about that. It's really the cushion that the secondary is giving, and please don't give too much of it. I don't want to give up big chunk yards, and that's the only thing that I really worry about. So the first thing I'm going to be looking at defensively is, where is Darius Slay? Where is Justin Jefferson? Are they lined up across from each other? I'm not saying they got to play press in your face, but move up. It was ridiculous. Like Sunday, the Patriots have 5 yards till a first down, and they're lined up 2 or 3 yards past the first down marker. I mean, I just don't get it. What you want to be this physical defense, and yet you're moving your guys. We talk about, and Sean Desai, like I said, I haven't given up on him or anything like that. Like, first game is a first game for everybody. I get it. All the coaches get a pass. Okay, if this is going on by week 3 or week 4, there's a problem. There is a problem. Okay, or at least week 4 or week 5, at least 5 games in, they cannot look like this, and they have to be more physical from a corner versus wide receiver standpoint. It's just not enough for me. I've been saying this every video. I know it's been a headache. I know I've been kind of playing like a cassette tape over and over again about it, but you can't do this because the pass rush will never generate when this is going on. If this team has under 2 sacks versus Kirk Cousins, I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Obviously, if Kirk Cousins is throwing picks, it's a different story. If you want to take picks over sacks, then that's perfectly fine. If they're getting pressure and they're getting in his face and he's just panic throwing, which Kirk does a lot of that panic throwing, undecisive throwing, and leads to bad things and good things for us going forward, I have no issue with that. But that's what it comes down to defensively. It's just a total mess at times, and they gotta get it right. So with Sean Desai, I didn't really like the blitzing too much, the late safety blitzes that really didn't get there with Reed. I mean, they tried at certain moments. It just wasn't enough for me. I don't even know how many times they blitzed last game. I mean, I kind of looked at the game a little bit. I only saw maybe 3-4 times. I mean, really, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I could sense it when I sense it, but the Eagles really didn't do much there. And just got to do a better job. And I think, like I said, Sean Desai is hopefully going to get better over the weeks. Like I said, we had a couple bad games last year. We didn't play up to par with, against a great team, or we, played close to, a team that wasn't great at all. You know, so these games do happen, and unfortunately for us, it happened at the beginning of the year. So fans are going to flip out and think this team is nothing, or feel like this team isn't going to go anywhere down the line. And then really the linebackers going forward. I mean, I would think Christian Ellis is probably going to be the starting middle linebacker since Nakobe Dean is out. Nicholas Morrow's to the active roster. Is Nicholas Morrow going to play on the outside more? We'll see. Because it's interesting enough, like Christian Ellis, you know, besides Nakobe Dean, Christian Ellis, and Reed Blankenship are actually sharing duty as the green dot. I know that just Desai said that Reed Blankenship was doing a lot of that too, because anybody can really have that. Anybody can really make the calls really on your defense. You know, you're not going to give the green dot to somebody on the defensive line. But when it comes to linebackers, safeties, corners, you can always give someone the green dot from any of those positions regardless. But, you know, Christian Ellis, I guess, will be the starting middle linebacker. You know, Nicholas Morrow's the active roster. They signed, Rashawn Evans, to the practice squad. That was a pretty good ranked off the ball linebacker, coverage linebacker last year, but is to the practice squad now. So definitely need him around in case, I don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. They might change the roster up a little bit. Linebackers are going to be Nicholas Morrow, Christian Ellis, and most likely Zach Cunningham. And Zach Cunningham didn't really play a bad game last week. The linebackers their linebackers really struggled last week against tight ends, I got to say, with the coverage. It wasn't great. I feel like that's been a problem ever since the damn Super Bowl, or really last year. But I mean, so we gave up a lot of yards from the tight end position defensively. So it only makes sense going forward. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So I don't really even care about the injuries to the Vikings, to be honest. I mean, it's really about this secondary going to this game. The offense has got to be better than Sunday. I mean, they can't get worse than what they did on Sunday. They looked just dead in the water. They looked vanilla-esque, just basic. They played that Sunday game like it was a preseason game, not giving up too much from their playbook, and they just looked dead in the water. I don't know. It just was horrible. So I'm looking to see a different team on Thursday night. The one advantage the Eagles do have over the Vikings going to this game is, like, what tape are the Vikings looking at that first game? And the Eagles didn't play up to par, playbook-wise, coaching-wise, nothing-wise. They looked that bad at times. Okay, the defense really held out, and obviously Jake Elliott, had a really good game because he's, had 3 field goals. So, we'll see what happens here. Let me know what you guys think about the matchups in general. What do the Eagles have to do to win this game? Are you worried more offensively or defensively? Do you think the Eagles are going to look like a completely different team on Thursday night for the home opener? You guys let me know. I think it's really important because, we need to find our identity here. And these running backs have got to be involved. And now Kenneth Gainwell's not playing, so who's the focal point? It's obviously going to be, DeAndre Swift, and I better see a whole different running back core involved than I did on Sunday, because that was just horrible. So that's all I got to say. I have faith that we're going to win this game. It's really just the secondary that I'm worried about, and how Sean Desai is going to, like I said, I think we have the secondary to do it. I think with Jordan Addison even playing, I feel like, Josh Jobe could handle it. I'm hoping. It's a test. We're going to find out a lot about the safety position. We're going to find out a lot about the corner position, especially with the second spot behind Bradbury. What do we have behind this cornerback group? Because, it's a blessing in disguise sometimes. You find guys, the Eagles kept 7 cornerbacks this year. A lot of depth at that position, a lot of, not really projects, but a lot of guys that are coming up playing really well. So now it's game time, and now it's really to see what their worth is like going forward. So guys, let me know. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shake some up, follow. So peace out, guys. Peace.